The 1 over x squared graph. In my class, we gave it a special name. I don't know if your class gave it a special name. The volcano graph, yes. Right? Because you've got the asymptote here, spewing lava everywhere. Oh, yes. Perfect. So there's our volcano graph. And we have the volcano graph, and we have to just describe, so we don't actually have to graph anything. Describe how it could be translated to get each of the graphs below. And then we're going to also talk about the equations of the asymptotes of each of those graphs. So first of all, on our original graph, we have an asymptote here at x equals 0. We also have an asymptote here at y equals 0. So those are our two original asymptotes. In part A, again, I'm just going to take the time to move that 3 over to the other side. And I have to say, okay, thinking of my original graph, what's changed? What's new? My original graph was 1 over x squared. My new graph here in A, the only thing that's different is a plus 3. Next, we have to decide, how's that going to affect my graph? Is that inside my function, or is that outside of my function? Outside of my function, it's going to translate 3 units, which direction? Up. So if you translated that graph 3 units up, what would our asymptotes be? The y would go up 3. And the x equals 0, if you slid that one up, would still stay at the exact same spot, would stay at x equals 0. So we start to see that things that happen outside of the function always affect our y values. And they affect our y values everywhere. So your asymptote y equals 0 also got moved up 3. But our x asymptote, which has x coordinates, doesn't get affected. Now in part B, again, I'm going to take the time just to write it so that the y is by itself. The first thing we have to be able to recognize is that this is the same basic graph as the 1 over x squared to begin with. It still has a 1 over something squared. But what's changed now is now we have a plus 3 in there and a minus 4 there. So how is that going to be different from the graph? We're going to have to translate. The plus 3 will go 3 to the left, and the minus 4 will go 4 down. What are our asymptotes going to be? Y will be at -4, and x will be at -3. Perfect. Questions you can do for this one, 16 and 17.